Welcome back to Advocacy Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today, we got a fight, guys. A fight between an adult and a minor. More specifically, a substitute teacher got into a fight with a student earlier in the year. This happened in Las Vegas. We have the video queued up. Let's watch the video and then we'll look at what happened here, the law that's at play. Keep in mind, as we're watching this is probably going to be just a simple misdemeanor, okay? Let's watch. This is 27-year-old Re Kwon Smith, a substitute teacher at the Clark County School District.
County School District Police arrested 27-year-old Re Kwon Smith. Sources tell us the student used racial slurs towards Smith, which started the fight. Smith made his first court appearance today. A hearing master ordered his release, but with some conditions.
Seeking monetary bail, so you are going to be released from custody on this case today.
So we see that Mr. Smith was released with some jail release conditions: to stay out of trouble, no new arrests or citations, don't visit the Valley High School, no contact with the victims in this case. These are fairly uniform, and these are the sort of bond release conditions you have in most cases, especially when you've been released on your own recognizance, which means released without having to pay a bond. Okay, so with that, we are ready to start jumping in and taking a look at the laws that are at play here. Okay, let me get them pulled up and we'll jump right in. All right, so as you see here, my search was for Nevada substitute teacher arrested for fighting student, and pulled back April 2024. A substitute teacher in Las Vegas, Nevada was arrested following a physical altercation with a student at Valley High School. So I knew right then I have the right thing. It says the incident was captured on video and widely circulated online. This was on my Twitter timeline when I woke up this morning. So I was like, what is this? and it ended up being something we could definitely talk about. 27-year-old Re Kwon Smith was charged with battery and assault on a school pupil. According to reports, the confrontation began following the student allegedly using a racial slur toward Smith, leading to a heated exchange that escalated into a physical fight. Smith was arrested and booked into Clark County Detention Center and was released from custody the following day during a court hearing. All right, that's the part of the video that you saw there where he was being released. That was just the following day. He still had on the same clothes from the original video that you see there. Let's look at the statute. Nevada Revised Statutes, Chapter 200. In Nevada, assault and battery are distinct offenses, both carrying serious implications, including for juveniles. Let's see. Let's see the offense for battery on a school pupil. Battery on school premises is subject to disciplinary measures outlined in Section 392.466. Just talks about for students, consideration of minors. I did a quick secondary search to see what else they had there. All right, let's look at what exactly the definitions of assault and the definition of battery. Assault is defined as it involves deliberately attempting to use force against another person or placing them in reasonable fear of imminent bodily harm. Battery is characterized as a willful and unlawful use of force or violence upon another person. We also have some penalties for juveniles. When a juvenile, a person under 18, is involved in an assault or battery, the case is typically handled within the Nevada's juvenile justice system, which emphasizes rehabilitation over punishment. All right, you have several types of disposition you can have here. You have probation, community service, or placement in a juvenile facility. All right. Let's take a look at where these juvenile facilities are in the state of Nevada. And my search here is tell me more about the juvenile facilities in NV, which is Nevada. You have the Division of Child and Family Services, Juvenile Justice Services. It says Nevada's juvenile justice system is designed to rehabilitate and support youth offenders through a network of facilities and programs. Here's an overview of the key components. All right, you have the juvenile division or juvenile detention centers. It says these secure facilities temporarily house juveniles awaiting court proceedings or serving short-term sentences. Some of the notable centers, you have the Clark County Juvenile Detention Center. This is in Las Vegas. Look at the ages. All right, they have ages 8 to 18 years old, and they offer a restricted environment for those requiring secure custody. This means juveniles who've been adjudicated delinquent. That's how it's termed in juvenile justice. Delinquent, and they can be housed at a Department of Youth Services. That's what we call it here in Arkansas, but a detention center where they're going to be securely housed and in secure custody, just like being in jail, but for a minor under the age of 18. You have the Murphy Bernardini Regional Juvenile Detention Center. This is in Carson City. Carson City is nice. I've driven past it before, coming when I was in Reno. You have the Caliente Youth Center. Look how many beds this has. This serves up to 140 youths aged 12 to 18. That's not very many beds there when you think about it for a jail. You have the Summit View Youth Center. This only has 48 beds. This is a maximum security facility, though. Notice that. That means this is for juveniles who have potentially had the more, I was about to say heinous crimes, but heinous too, but the crimes at the upper end of the punishment range. For adults, the crimes that you would be thought to go to prison for a long time for, that's what this facility is for youths who have committed such crimes. They have initials for SVYC. Offers various programs and services and has a capacity of 48 beds. So it's not very big. Rehabilitation programs. Look, it says emphasizing rehabilitation. Nevada offers programs aimed at addressing behavioral issues and promoting positive development. They use this evidence-based program, MST, multi-systemic therapy. And this kind of sounds like what they use in drug court, but I think it's called a little bit different. I think it's called like recognitive therapy. But it's an evidence-based program, this one is, targeting youths 12 to 17 with serious clinical problems, aiming to keep them at home, in school, and out of trouble. Look at the focus here. They want to keep youths at home, to not house them in prisons and not house them in rehabilitation centers. They're away from their families and away from their school, but they do want to keep them out of trouble. You have Pivot Point Center for Youth. This one is for girls aged 12 to 18. So notice that sometimes you can't keep youths, just like with adults of different genders, at the same place. That makes sense, right? Because nobody's there to watch these youths, and you don't want the things that happen when you have the opposite sexes in the same environment. All right. Juvenile justice system structure. All right. DCFS oversees the state's juvenile justice services, including detention centers and rehabilitation programs. Juvenile courts handle cases involving individuals under 18, focusing on rehabilitation and community safety. All right. Let's see. We also have pulled back a couple more searches here. We have battery on a minor. It says this is in the 200s, the chapter 200s of the Nevada Revised Statutes. You have 200.481, where they define battery as any willful and unlawful use of force or violence upon the person of another. Penalties for battery on a minor. You still have simple battery. You have battery with substantial bodily harm, and you have domestic violence. Simple battery is what he was charged with here. As you see, it's a misdemeanor. It's classified as a misdemeanor. Now, if there was more substantial bodily harm, that's a Class C felony. This is not domestic violence. Domestic violence simply means if it's people who live in the same home or are in the same immediate family or something of that nature, or in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. Those sort of things take it into the domestic violence realm. Let's look at what the misdemeanor levels are here in Nevada. It says that you can have either a misdemeanor or a gross misdemeanor. All right. Most places have different delineations between how they do their misdemeanors. It may be a different of term, like here, misdemeanor versus gross misdemeanor. Or it could be something like misdemeanor A, misdemeanor B, misdemeanor C. But here, one, misdemeanor. These are less severe offenses, such as simple assault or battery without substantial bodily harm. That's what Mr. Smith was charged with here, okay? And we don't know the results of this case. I haven't done any deep research to see if this because this is a district court case, all right? He might be let off based on the circumstances because they let him out of jail and they call him a -1 offender, meaning that they don't believe he's going to reoffend. They see him as an upstanding citizen, but he was potentially provoked. And that's going to play out in court, and that may play out in that teacher's favor. And why is that? Because in court, let's keep in mind, guys, that the judge is he's not without experience with life. And jurors they don't leave their experiences at the door. You may get jurors that are teachers, and that's what you would choose if you're a defense attorney. You would choose those jurors who have children, who understand that children sometimes overstep the line, or people who have teenage children. That's how you begin to build your jury pool from a defense perspective. Now, if you're from the state and if you really want to hammer it home and prosecute this guy, you don't look for those. You look for people who are staunch on it's wrong is wrong. And that's why it's more of a mental thing. It's more of a mental game than anything when you start talking about court and how it happens. And it's all about trying to convince the jury and the judge. That's why you hire people who are good at convincing the jury and the judge so that you can win home your point from whichever side you're dealing with this at. Let's look at the penalties. That's too much soapbox. The penalties, misdemeanors. For misdemeanors, you can be incarcerated up to 6 months in county jail. You can get a fine of up to $1,000. For the gross misdemeanor, up to 1 day short of a year in jail, a fine of up to $2,000. All right. That gets us to the end there, guys. So once again, how do you feel about what happened to Mr. Re Kwon Smith? How do you feel about this whole incident? Are any of you out there teachers? How do you deal with the provocation, being provoked by students? Do you have to constantly remind yourself this person is not an adult? I can't deal with them as I would an adult. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't deal with juveniles very often in my job, so I don't know. Well, with that, this is Advocacy Alchemy with Professor Ross. Leave a comment, leave a like, watch the other videos, and I'll catch you guys soon. Have a good day.